Welcome to another episode of BHP Book Club. I am your host, Kelly Morgan. Today I'm excited because I'm speaking with seven-time author Christy Whitman. She's here today to talk about her seventh book, The Desire Factor: How to Embrace Your Materialistic Nature to Reclaim Your Full Spiritual Power. She is a New York Times bestselling author, and I'm so glad that she decided to become a member of the book club and be on the podcast. So let's just get right to it. I'm so excited to speak with her. Welcome to our book club, our newest member, author Christy Whitman. Christy, thank you so much for being the newest member to the book club and coming on the podcast. Welcome.
I am so grateful that you asked me to be here.
I am grateful that you came.
We are already getting started before we even got started talking about money and desires. So I am so looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, me too. So before we get to the book, The Desire Factor, let's talk about the journey to writing The Desire Factor. How did that come to be? Were you always somebody who knew you were going to write a book? Did you just kind of stumble upon it? What happened?
Well, this is actually my seventh book.
Wow.
And so my journey began with my first book a little over 20 years ago. It was called Perfect Pictures. And no, it was not something that I set out to do. I never said I want to write a book or that I want to be an author. I never really had that desire. I was always good with writing down a concept or what I was feeling in a journal. Like I enjoyed the process of journaling. But one night while I was meditating, I got the cover of of the book, and it said Perfect Pictures, and it had a beautiful Arizona sunset. And I thought, well, that's strange because I've never written a book. And I went to sleep, and 1:05 in the morning, I was woken up by this voice in my head, and it was answering me with something that I was struggling with at the time. And so I got up to write down, for me, because I didn't want to lose that because it was valuable information. And as soon as my pen hit the journal or the notepad, it just continued. My hand just was going faster than my brain could even comprehend what was happening. And so I just let it happen. And that happened 7 nights in a row at 1:05 in the morning. And that became my first book. So all of my books have that experience. It's not 1:05 in the morning. So one time it was my last book, Quantum Success. It was 3:00 in the morning on a cruise ship in the middle of the Mediterranean. And we had my family spread out all throughout the cruise ship room. And I had to go in the bathroom, and just the information just came. So that's how I write. I feel like it writes me. I just get to be the conduit for what wants to reveal itself.
So let's talk about The Desire Factor and what this book is about. Book numbers, this is book number 7, right?
Yes, it is.
So let's talk about this book.
Okay.
This is the one that I'm familiar with, and I agree with the concept. So let's talk about it.
Awesome. Yeah, so the desire is one of those things that we have so many mixed messages in our culture, in different religions, in different philosophies, in different perspectives. And when you really think about it, desire, whether it's desire to eat a healthy meal, or desire to get in shape, or to meet the love of your life, or to live in a bigger house, or to drive a different car, or to move to a different, location somewhere, whatever desire, that creates an opening, it creates a life force, it creates an energy force that then goes out and creates. And when we deny our desires, and a lot of us have been really conditioned to deny our desires for many different reasons, that money, if we desire more money, that's selfish, or that you're going to be one of those people, or that you're going to be greedy, or who are you to? There's so much that comes with a desire, just even one of money, right? If you want a bigger house, if you want to get the promotion, you want to succeed, there's almost a shame. People feel shameful for succeeding because they have a desire, and then they're doing well in their lives, and then others around them aren't, right? So then they feel guilty. But when you have a desire for something, that desire opens up something in you. That desire the idea came from a deeper part of who you are. And if you flow with that desire, it's really never about the desire in the end. Yeah, it'd be nice to live in a bigger house or drive a different car to be in the relationship. Of course, we get to experience that. But really what the desire is underneath is the growth of who you become from not having it to then having it. Because sometimes a desire could be a 20-year journey. It could be a life journey. It could be a simple, oh, I want a cup of coffee. And then all of a sudden someone brings you in a cup of coffee, right?
So it's not the desire, it's actually the act of manifesting the desire, which could be a 20-year journey.
Yes. I always use the example of Oprah. Okay, so when I mentioned my first book, my first experience into, becoming an author, and all of my friends and family who were not the target audience for this, because none of them were into personal growth, they all thought I had gone crazy and I was super woo-woo because I'm talking about energy and positive thinking. So they were not my target audience. And I was speaking in spiritual bookstores and churches and, places that at that point in time, this is 20 years ago, would listen about universal laws, right? Well, Oprah was talking about that, but she wasn't calling me, right? I had the desire to have a conversation with Oprah. I still do. But that desire led me to understand, well, how do I get to that conversation, right? I need to have media training. I need to have this and that. So I started doing all these things that led me to that desire. I haven't had that desire fulfilled, but the person I became and the exposure that my business has had or my books have had because of that desire grew me each and every time, allowing me to come, have books that have hit the New York Times, being on the Today Show, doing these bigger things. I never would have had any of those experiences. And that's what the fun of it was, the experiences, without having that desire to go on Oprah.
Right. And that's cool because look at all the things along the way, right? And what's to come.
Yes.
Because you're not done yet.
No.
Right?
Not even close.
And so that thought, that desire became energy.
Yes.
And it began to manifest. And it didn't necessarily manifest overnight. And I think that's where people get stuck, because they think that if you manifest something, you're almost talking about taking nothing and making it something instantly. And it just doesn't work that way. We would love it to, but sometimes the journey is the whole point, right?
Yeah, and sometimes you can go after desire, and here's the important part is that us as the human being has a limited view. As conscious as we are, as expanded as we are still limited in nature compared to the divine that's breathing us. All that is, all the energy that's available in the universe, right? And so our idea of something, it's better to say this or something better, because the universe can deliver you something better. But if you're like, absolutely, it has to be that man, it has to be that woman, it has to be that promotion, it has to be that company. When we are so stuck on the forms and it doesn't manifest, instead of staying with the underlying energy of why we wanted something, then there could be infinite companies, or it could be lots of different possibility of mates, or it could be many different places to travel, or whatever the desire is. It's not so, there's not an attachment. There's room for energy to continue to flow through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the book, you talked about appreciation. And I want to hear your take on appreciation and what you think that is and how we should use appreciation.
So appreciation, gratitude, right? They go hand in hand. To me, appreciation, it is like a verb, right? You are appreciating something. And when you do, you're looking for the positive aspects about it, right? You're listing out and realizing, and the total focus is on what pleases you, what you feel, again, grateful for. and you allow that energy to penetrate you, because the energy of appreciation is one of the highest vibrations in the universe, just below around the energy of love. And gratitude is right there. So when you are looking at anything, it could be a crystal, it could be a plant, it could be thinking about another person and thinking about all of their positive aspects and how you feel when you're with them, or how it is to have it in your life, right? That all the things that you can feel, that just, it's almost like an overwhelming gratitude. So appreciation leads to gratitude. And gratitude is just, it's such a wonderful vibration to be in.
Right. And sometimes I think you have to take a minute and stop and be grateful, and have to remember to be grateful and try to practice gratitude as much as possible, even if it's just for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be this long, commitment.
No.
It could be literally 5 minutes of just gratitude. I think will make you feel better.
Well, and here's the difference too, and you'll see, and it doesn't take very long, right? Most people think that it's like a head thing. Let me think of all the things I'm grateful for. You want to think about one thing and go deeper with the why, instead of just thinking of a bunch of things, right? So for example, if you're going to ask me, what are the 5 things that you're grateful for? I could say I'm grateful for my dog, my husband, my son Alex, my son Max, and my parents, right? I didn't connect there. But if you say, what do you appreciate about your dog, right? I appreciate that no matter what, he's always happy to see me, right? I love that he makes me laugh by the crazy things he does. I love that he teaches me that love, there's always time for love. I love that he is a love whore and will roll over on his back and just open up his legs. That dog is just, he makes me smile. Isn't it a total difference of listing out 5 qualities or reasons rather than 5 things?
Right.
Right. So it's a difference between the what and the why, And so that's really, it's getting into that field, because here's the thing to know about gratitude and appreciation. When you are in a gratitude and appreciation, you're not in lack, and lack always feels bad. And so by stopping, like you said, and just practicing, just by stopping and going, okay, what are the positive aspects of this moment? What are the positive aspects? I did this while I was transitioning out of corporate America. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be a coach and have my full-time business, but I still was here. So every morning I would deliberately list out, and I would say it out loud, I work from 8 to 5. I don't work at night, so I can work with my clients. I am free on the weekends, so I can do what I want to build my business. I make great money so that I can invest the money into my business. I mean, I would list out all the positive aspects, because if you look at it as a spectrum, on one side of the spectrum is lack. And that's where all of the negative emotions come from, like the fear and the worry and the doubt and disappointment and loneliness and sadness, all that there. It's also the mindsets such as jealousy, envy, competition, judgment, cattiness, gossipy, all of that fun, criticalness, persecution, like all of that comes from lack. When you can start pivoting yourself into a place of looking around and saying, what can I be grateful for in this moment? What are the positive aspects? You get out of the vibration of lack and you get in the neutrality, you get in that place, that tipping point of satisfaction into abundance.
Yeah. And I think the way that you said it makes it easier for people to understand, right? Because there's a lot of meditations out there. If you go to YouTube, and there'll be gratitude meditations, and they'll do exactly what you said. They'll just list 500 things I'm grateful for. But you're right, there's no emotion behind it, right? There's no feeling behind it, because you can just list them. And they list them that you don't really have time to think about, well, why am I grateful for my house? Or why am I grateful for the trees? Do you know what I mean? And so you're right, if you take it a step deeper, then you feel more. And that's really ultimately what it is. Is it just a feeling?
It really is. I mean, when you think about it, we all of us, every single human being has been given free will, right? And in that free will, the things that we have free will with are is our consciousness. And if you break down our consciousness, it's the words that we say, which are very powerful. It's the start of all creation. Our words are like our magic wands, right? Words lead to thoughts. Thoughts are creative. Our beliefs or perspectives on things, our emotions, and the actions that we take. If we really simplify it, that's what when we see something, feel something, hear something, experience something, notice something, how we act in our consciousness to it. Do we perceive it as a problem, or do we perceive it as an opportunity? Do we perceive that we're stuck, right? And then we perceive it that there's a problem, that we're stuck, and then we start speaking of, well, there's no hope, there's no chance, I can't, right?
Right.
We get to choose how we want to feel, because beyond the consciousness, we are physical, but yeah, we're also energy, and we are constantly receiving an energy. If we don't have energy, we're not alive. The very breath that's breathing us is energy. The thing that beats our heart and pulsates our blood is energy. So we are energy. And when we deliberately take time each day, right, to stop and just fill yourself up with the energy you want to feel, because we're picking up energy from other people, from the airwaves, from mass hysteria, from all that stuff. So it's really wise to say, okay, today, like go into the vending machine of energy and saying, today I want to feel joy. And literally you in your free will get to have all of this energy vibrate at the rate that you choose by saying, okay, I'm bringing in joy. And then through your free will, through you containing that energy, because you're an energy receiver and in a container. Most people like bring in energy and they give all their energy away. They have no more. They're depleted, right?
Yeah.
We need to be able to fill ourselves up in the energy field of that joy or freedom or whatever it is that we want. And then from our consciousness, the signals that we give out from the words, the thoughts, the perspectives, the belief, the emotions, and then even the physical things that we do. These are the ways that we send out signals, and law of attraction is always matching that vibration and giving us more people, situations, circumstances, events, experiences that match that frequency. So if you are raising your own frequency, the things that you attract also are at a much higher frequency. But the same is true too. If you lower your frequency, you start attracting.
Yeah,
I love this
true.
work. I love this work because I'm always looking at evaluating my own experiences. Do I have harmony in my house, or is there a little bit of drama, right? Is there harmony in the bank accounts and the flow and the company? If there's harmony there, I notice there's harmony in here. If I notice that something's wonky here, I get to go, oh, we're within my own energy field. Do I need to pump up the abundance? Do I need to pump up the well-being? Do I need to, whatever it is? And then I get to utilize that energy and send that out as a field that is literally then like a magnet to all the things that match it.
Yeah,
we all do that.
I like the way that you explain it, because again, I think so many people just don't necessarily believe, because the things that you are saying, even though maybe the results are tangible, what you're doing isn't something that you can pick up like a cup. It's really something that you have to feel and you have to believe. Right? And it takes a moment to get there. It's not like you go sit down and say, okay, I feel joy and I take joy in for 10 minutes. Now I can go, you have to do it all the time and really mean it when you feel it, right? I mean,
well, think about it. We're also human beings, and that we don't just get up in the morning, right? We don't just sleep once, maybe once a week, right? We sleep consistently, right? It's something our body needs, right? The basic function of the body needs rest. We need to eliminate. We don't do that just once and then we're done for the day, right? We don't just take a sip of water or something to drink as a liquid into our body just once. We do it all throughout the day. Same thing with food, right? It's all throughout the day. So just like energy work, People think of, oh, I gotta go and meditate for hours upon hours. You just need to connect with the energy by choosing first thing you want to create the momentum in the morning. Because what happens is most people open up their eyes, they look at the time, the first thing that they do is they get in lack and go, oh, I don't have enough time to eat. I don't think I have enough time to shower. I never have enough time. And then you get on this what you never have enough of. God, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough support. Life sucks. Why is it so hard? You go down this spiral. So you got to cut off that momentum. First thing when you open up your eyes in the morning, today I choose joy. I am awake today. Thank you for this day. Choosing the energy that something woke you up this morning and that you get to live another day to create and to live and to experience and to change things that don't feel good and to move past contrast into what you do want. I mean, there's so many infinite possibilities of things that we can experience, and using the contrast in our life, meaning what we don't want, is an indication that I don't want that anymore. What do I want? What do I want? Why do I want it? How do I want to feel? And then connect with that feeling and do it throughout the day. To put a thing on your phone, maybe around 2 o'clock, you're going to eat. Maybe you do it around the same time. Every time you go to the bathroom, you check in, you bring in your energy. Or every time you go to get a glass of water, or anytime it's going to be meal time, or anytime you're at a stoplight, whatever it is, the guy behind you will let you know it's time to go, right? In the most kindest of ways.
In the most kindest of ways, yes.
Right? Anytime you can get it in, it's bringing in that energy, because it's fueling your body with positivity, because you create your own, you receive energy, you're a container and you're a transmitter. So when you are getting really good, and I've just had, I'll say this, because you mentioned this, it takes practice. I've had people work with me for years and literally just got this, oh my God, I know at a deeper level how to utilize this energy, and then literally manifesting what they wanted. But it's unlearning what we learned, and it's releasing a lot of the blocks and the things that tell us that we can't do something, and all the places that are stuck energy and imprints. They're going to show up. And the great thing of it is that you get to then take responsibility and go, do I want to continue to create that, or am I going to change something different? If I want something different, I have to be something different. I have to vibrate something different. You do it, and then you see in your outer reality, your inner creates your outer.
Yeah. And it sounds simple, but like you said, it takes time, and nobody can do it unless they're ready to.
Yes.
Right? Ultimately, you have to be the one to decide that you want to make changes, or whatever it is that you want, or you're going to look at life differently, or whatever. You want to experience something different.
Free will.
Yeah, that's completely up to you, but you have to be the one to decide when that's going to happen. So I just like the way you explain it, because especially about meditation, you're right. When people think about meditation, they're thinking, oh, I've got to commit for an hour or 30 minutes every day, and I've got to do a certain type of meditation, right? What should that be? Which one is the right one? And I like the way you say, if you just connect, just wake up in the morning and just say, I choose joy, and I'm going to connect, and this is why. And 5-10 minutes, whatever, and you're out, you're on your way. But it's not this, it doesn't sound like work. And I think meditation sounds like work to people, which is why it's such a turnoff. Or they're thinking, am I doing it right? Right.
They don't know how to do it. And they go into, okay, I'm going to try this meditation thing. And then they try to go into quiet their mind, and their mind has not been quiet probably since the day they were born. Right? Now they're going to sit there and try to quiet their mind. The mind's telling them all the things that they need to do. And then they're like, I can't do this. Right? It's too hard. Meditation doesn't work. It's like if you go to the gym and you lift weights, it's going to work for you, right? Meditation's the same way. It has so many different benefits. But if we're in the head going, am I doing this right? What am I expecting? I think I'm doing this wrong. If it's just another excuse to judge ourselves, beat ourselves up, create another thing that we're doing something wrong, create a perfect picture in our head, it's got to look like this, then you're right. It's coming from lack. It doesn't feel good. You want it to be a moment where you're breathing in life, the life that's breathing you. You're connecting to a bigger part of you than just this 3D meat suit, right? This amazing vehicle, but the divine is literally breathing you. And when the divine is breathing you, which that means you're alive, and that means it's an opportunity to create in every moment. And we get to choose. Are we allowing that energy, that pure light, to flow through me, or am I blocking it? Because that's always, again, free will and choice. That's our choice.
Yeah, I would agree. So are your other books along the same lines? Can you just tell me the title of the other books?
Yes, absolutely. So yes, there are, all the books I talk about, except for one, are all about the universal laws. And so in order of the last to the first, there is the desire factor. Then there is quantum success, which is taking universal laws in the subject of business and money. And then there's like a spiritual aspect to business and money. And then the next one after that, or before that, I should say, is the art of having it all. And it's a woman's guide to unlimited abundance. So it's really understanding, what is my own having it all? What do I want in all aspects of my life, right? And then the next one is written with co-author Rebecca Grotto. It's called Taming Your Alpha Bitch. That's a really good one because it really shows how a lot of women have adapted a very masculine way of getting what they want in the world when there's a more powerful feminine approach. Then I had a couple of books one was on how to know if your college friends are suicidal and what to do about it, as well as why did she choose suicide, because my sister had committed suicide, and I had a nice spiritual approach that I used, and in my recovery wanted to help others. So I wrote that book and then started speaking in colleges. So it's another book I wrote. And then my first one was Perfect Pictures. So those are my 7 babies.
Wow. And so if somebody wanted to buy them, are they available on website? Or on Amazon? Do you have a website?
I do. So ChristyWhitman.com is my main website. You can go to thedesirefactor.com. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, you can get them at any major bookstore. So.
And Christy, do you offer coaching?
I do. I offer group healings and group coaching events. I do meditations. We're doing a meditation series. We do 20 minutes a day as a group. It's guided meditation, so the mind has something to follow and it doesn't get bored and says this doesn't work. So it's a nice intro. That's how I got introduced in meditation 25 years ago, and it worked for me because my mind does like to fire up. So so I do.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and being a member of the book club and sharing everything. I truly enjoyed speaking with you. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of BHP Book Club. I'm your host, Kelly Morgan. I just wrapped up with 7-time author Christy Whitman, who talked about her book, The Desire Factor. Christy was a wonderful guest. She shared all of her books, her insight about manifesting and really knowing your true power. You can connect with Christy on her website, ChristyWhitman.com. If you are an author and you would like to promote your book and be a member of the book club, go to my website, brightheadedpublishing.com. Again, brightheadedpublishing.com. Go to the contact section, drop me a note, and you could be the next person or the next author on the podcast promoting your book and being our newest book club member. Our book club is growing. We take all genres. We'd be happy to have you. Next week, another author. Thank you for listening. As always, I cannot do it without you. Until then, keep writing.